Hi, this is CAD/CAM Lessons. In this video, we tackle more complex sketches using the Polyline and trim tools, and I'll show you how to fix those annoying redundant constraint errors. Then we'll use the MultiTransform tool to model just one corner of a part and mirror it twice to create the whole object in seconds. We will now move on to another practical example. I will start a new project as a parametric part, and here I will start by creating a sketch on the XY plane. We will create a rectangle here whose corner will lie at the origin of the coordinate system, and it will be a rectangle with dimensions of 40 by 30 millimeters. Next, we will create a slot. Select the slot command and draw a slot such that the first point of the slot is in this spot. Place the second point of the slot to the left of the y-axis. As slot dimensions, enter 30 millimeters. The position of the second point does not matter, and as the slot width, enter 5 millimeters and press Enter. Click the right mouse button to cancel this command. Now select this point, select this point, select the y-axis, and press the S key to apply a symmetry constraint here, and in a moment we will place this slot so that it lies in the center of this rectangle in the y-axis, but in this case we will delete some geometry and probably some dimensions or some constraints will need to be added. Therefore, we will first start by removing unnecessary geometry fragments, and we will do this using the trim command. Select this command and indicate the geometry fragments to be trimmed. As you can see, when you hover over the geometry, snaps appear defining the geometry cutting boundaries. And as we hover over this line in this spot, the geometry will be trimmed from this point to this point. Okay, now I click the right mouse button to cancel this command. And here some constraints were removed and some geometries behave a bit unpredictably, so we simply apply constraints here. First, select this line and press the E key to apply an equality constraint here. Next, select this line and press the H key to apply a constraint specifying that these lines are horizontal lines. And now we just need to specify the distance of this point from that point or from the origin of the coordinate system. And we do it like this. I press the D key, click on this point, and here as the dimension I enter 15 millimeters. Okay. I click the right mouse button. We have one more degree of freedom here. Okay, a constraint was lost here, so I do it like this. I select this point, select this line, and choose the coincidence constraint. And okay, we have such a sketch. I close the sketch. And now, based on this sketch, we will create a solid by extruding the sketch to a height of 5 millimeters. We will do this using the pad operation. Select this operation, and here as the solid height, we enter 5 millimeters and click OK. And now we will create another part of the solid. Based on a sketch, and we create the sketch on this face of the solid. Select this face and choose Create Sketch. And now this face is the sketch plane. Here we will start by creating reference geometry. Select the external projection command and indicate this line as reference geometry. Click the right mouse button to cancel this command. And here we will draw a circle whose center will lie more or less in this spot. And let's make the first circle here with a diameter of 10 millimeters. And let's draw the second circle with any diameter. Let's not specify the diameter of this circle. We click the right mouse button. And I don't specify this diameter because I want this diameter to be resultant. You will see what I mean in a moment. Select the Polyline drawing command. And this command is a command where we can draw several line segments using this command, because normally the line drawing command works such that we define the start point and the end point. And this line has been drawn. We can draw more lines. And if we want to draw a shape consisting of several lines using this command, we simply have to indicate the start point and end point sequentially. The Polyline drawing command works such that the end of the previous segment is automatically the start of the next line segment. Okay, I click right to cancel this. I select these geometries to delete them and select the Polyline drawing command, and we will do this such that I place the first point of the polyline on the y-axis anywhere. When the y-axis is highlighted, I click the left mouse button, I place the second point of the polyline at this reference geometry point. Next, I place the next point of the polyline in this spot. I click the left mouse button and draw the next segment in such a way that it is a vertical line. As the constraint symbol specifying that this line is vertical appears here next to the cursor, I click the left mouse button and click the right mouse button to finish drawing this polyline, and click the right mouse button again to cancel this command. And now I select this point, select the circle, and choose the tangency constraint. And we do the same in this spot. I select this point, select the circle, and choose the tangency constraint. Next, I select this point, press the D key, and here as the value of this dimension, I enter 25 millimeters and click the right mouse button to end the dimensioning command. Next, I select the trim edge command and trim this fragment of the circle. I click the right mouse button, close the sketch, and based on this sketch, I create another part of the solid by extruding the sketch. That is, I select the pad operation. And here the extrusion was added in this direction, and such a warning appeared. I will ignore this warning for now, but the point here is that the solid was extruded in this direction, and the next part of the solid does not touch the previous part of the solid, which was unacceptable in previous versions of FreeCAD. Now in the new version of FreeCAD, this has been improved a bit, but anyway, I don't want to perform the extrusion in this direction, I want to perform the extrusion in the other direction, and we have the reversed option here. We check this option, and now the extrusion is performed in this direction. Here we change the extrusion length to 5 millimeters, and click OK, and we have something like this. Now I will create fillets on the edges of this solid here. With the Control key, I select these two edges. I select the fillet command, and here I will add a fillet with a radius of 10 millimeters. I click OK, and we have something like this. And now we'll use the mirror operation to create a mirrored copy of the entire solid. And to do this, we select the entire solid. We select the body in the feature list. We select the mirror operation. Now we just select the mirror plane. In this case, let's choose the YZ plane. We click OK, and we have something like this. Now it is one single solid, and if, for example, I introduce some changes in the sketch based on which the first part of the solid was created, for example, we change the length of this dimension to 70 millimeters, and change this dimension to 40 millimeters, close the sketch. The changes have been applied to the solid, and this was a practical example showing the advantages of the mirror operation, and we will also use this operation in the next example. And we will make the next example a bit more complex. We will create another simple but practical example now. Of course, the example itself might not be that very practical, but the method and approach to creating this model will be very practical. I start a new project as a parametric part and start by creating a sketch on the XY plane. And here we will start by creating a rectangle with dimensions of 50 by 30 millimeters. Next, select the fillet command, which allows adding a fillet in the sketch. And click on this corner of the rectangle and click the right mouse button to cancel this command. Now select this arc and press the D key, and now we can specify the radius of this fillet and enter 10 millimeters here. And next, select Draw Circle and place the center of the circle in this spot and draw a circle with a diameter of 30 millimeters. And press Enter and draw another circle whose center will lie at this point, and here draw a circle with a diameter of 5 millimeters. Next, select the Trim Edge command and trim this fragment of the circle and these fragments of the rectangle, and click the right mouse button to cancel this command. And here we have a few degrees of freedom. Okay, and let's do it one by one. I select this point, select this line, and press the C key. Next, I select this point, select this line, and press the C key. Here, the rectangle dimensions were removed. So I select this point, press the D key, and in this axis, I enter the dimension 30 millimeters. Okay. Next, I select this point, and in this axis, define the dimension as 50 millimeters. And here I click the right mouse button. We are still missing a constraint. I select this point and press the C key, and the sketch is now fully constrained. I close the sketch, and based on this sketch, I will create a solid with a height of 5 millimeters. We do this, of course, using the pad operation. I click OK, and we have such a solid fragment. Now I will create another sketch on this face. I select this face. I select Create Sketch, and now I will start by creating external geometry to have a reference to the solid edge. We do this based on this edge. I click the right mouse button to cancel this command and select Draw Circle. And I draw the first circle whose center point will lie in this spot, and I place the second point in this spot, and here a constraint was automatically applied that linked the circle circumference to the reference geometry point. And now I draw a second circle. I place the center of the circle in this spot and draw a circle with a diameter of 15 millimeters. Now I select Draw Line and draw a line from this point to this point, and a second line from this point to this point. I click the right mouse button and select the Trim Edge command and trim the circle fragments and line fragments. I click the right mouse button. Here some constraints were lost. Okay, I'm trying to locate the places where constraints are missing. However, here, as you can see, grabbing the geometry, I cannot change the geometry position, and here it's not so much that a constraint is missing, as we have redundant constraints. Constraint number 6 is a redundant constraint, so I click on this spot. This constraint was highlighted in the list. I click the right mouse button and select Delete. Okay, constraint number 5 is also a redundant constraint, so I click the right mouse button and select Delete. And now we have 3 degrees of freedom and we can define constraints. I select this line, press the H key to specify that this line is a horizontal line. Now I select this line, press the V key to specify that this line is a vertical line, and here we are still missing a constraint. I simply grabbed this point and moved the geometry gently. And this is exactly what I recommend doing in cases where it is not entirely visible where the constraint is missing. Simply, if we grab the geometry gently, there is a small risk that we will damage this geometry, and there is a high chance that we will find the place where the constraint is missing. And now I select this point, and choose the coincidence constraint. Okay, the sketch is over constrained here, so I press Ctrl Z, and we'll do it a slightly different way. I will try to do it so that this point and this point lie in one vertical line. I don't know why the coincidence constraint didn't work here, but sometimes such situations can appear. Therefore, in many cases, it is possible to apply another constraint that will give the same effect. And actually, it's good that this came up in this example because sometimes such situations can appear, and I think you will be more aware that it is not entirely your fault, but simply you need to apply a different approach. Now I close the sketch, and based on this sketch, I create another solid fragment by extruding the sketch to 10 millimeters. I click OK, and we have something like this. And now, based on this solid, we'll create mirrored copies about the YZ plane and the XZ plane. And we will do this using the MultiTransform operation. Select the entire solid, select the MultiTransform operation, and here we click the right mouse button and select Add Mirror Transformation. And here is the mirror plane. We select the base YZ plane. Next, we click the right mouse button again. We select Add Mirror Transformation. And as the mirror plane, we select the base XZ plane. We click OK, and we have such a solid. And now, if we want to make some changes, we go to the first operation. We edit the sketch, and for example, I will change the diameter of this circle from 30 to 50 millimeters. I will change this dimension to 70 millimeters. I close the sketch, and the changes have been applied to the solid. So this is another example where I want to show you such a practical approach to 3D modeling, and sometimes such an approach can save us a lot of time, and especially it saves us a lot of time if we make a part based on a 3D model, and after making this part, it turns out that some dimension changes need to be made, and in such cases, it can save a lot of time, but also applying this approach in 3D modeling can shorten the part modeling process. You can now handle complex sketches and use double mirroring to create symmetrical parts incredibly fast. To see the next step and continue mastering FreeCAD, click the video on the screen or subscribe to the channel.